Hey everybody, Joe here from Cognitive Crypto, back again to start giving you your weekly crypto intel updates. We just took last week off due to some other projects we were working on, but we're excited to get back into the flow and give you some information to help you function in this crazy crypto environment. Hope everybody's doing well after everything that happened with Luna and US Terra. And we're going to just talk a little bit about some other things going on because that story's pretty much been in every other headline. So like always, we'll start off with the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. I'm going to talk about some Coinbase and Celsius terms of service updates that occurred or are present in the clauses that you signed to use those accounts. We'll talk quickly about USDT. So again, USD tether and a minor depegging that occurred and kind of what that could mean for stablecoins. And last, I'm going to talk to you about a security alert when it comes to predictive text in your phones and how that could relate to your seed phrases. Starting off, going to just look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index for the week. As you can see, we're still in extreme fear. That probably comes really as no surprise. As you saw, again, Terra Luna and USDT completely flatline and drain a majority of their liquidity out. And then also a major sell-off of Bitcoin occurring at that same time. So prices have continued to decline over the last week, and probably not the only cause coming from Luna, but with the stock market trending down and most markets trending down at this point, crypto is also on that run down. And when that happens, typically crypto is going to move a lot faster than other traditional finance markets. So probably leading to this extreme fear. Again, it's kind of hard to tell when we're going to come out of this. There's a lot of sentiment on Twitter about this continuing to be a bear market at this point. So I think you're going to continue to see fear and extreme fear on the index, at least through the following week. And it's kind of hard to project really beyond that exactly when there might be a turnaround because we're waiting on a lot of indicators from traditional finance and crypto. The second topic for the week is going to be talking about the Coinbase and Celsius terms of service, specifically coming to light because Coinbase updated their terms of service this week. And the key to note when it comes to Coinbase's updated terms of service says that in the event of bankruptcy proceedings for Coinbase, that any customers would be treated as general unsecured creditors. So essentially what that means is if your assets are held in Coinbase and they go bankrupt, there's really not going to be any protection for you to potentially get those assets back. That's not saying you wouldn't be able to, or there wouldn't be some method put in place to give those owners of their assets back their crypto. But if Coinbase did need to take those for some reason during the bankruptcy or the government were to take them, then you might actually lose all your crypto too. Celsius has a similar clause in their terms and services. And I think it's just important to note here, ultimately you're going to need to have some form of on-ramp here. And I don't think that means that you would need to stop using Coinbase altogether, but it does bring up the question on whether or not you do hold your crypto on these exchanges. If you're holding them in certain places in order to earn yield or doing other things, it might be worth holding them on a centralized exchange, but a place like Coinbase doesn't necessarily offer great yield. So it may be beneficial for you to look at moving that crypto off into either a hot wallet or a cold wallet if you plan to just hold it for the long term. That way, in the event that Coinbase, let's say, has a really rough second, third, fourth quarter and ends up filing for bankruptcy, you don't end up losing your assets because you control them. And then you can look for another platform to off-ramp them. And the same thing applies to Celsius. Again, I think this is probably just something you'll see in most crypto centralized exchanges at this point, or maybe just hasn't been highlighted for many central exchanges. So again, I wouldn't worry too much about Coinbase not being able to on-ramp or off-ramp when it comes to buying your crypto, but it's just something to be aware of that if a company is struggling and files for bankruptcy, your assets could be at risk, which kind of defeats the purpose of why crypto is stood up to be decentralized. So take those opportunities to move your crypto if you plan to hold it for the long term. There's also some great cold wallets where you can store your crypto offline and not have to worry about specific companies going bankrupt. Those being Ledger, Trezor, and Arculus are a couple of cold wallets that you could look into using, and definitely worth doing if you're going to hold it for the long term and don't want to have that risk of a centralized exchange going bankrupt. Third this week, I'm going to talk to you about US dollar tether and a little depeg that occurred here over the last 24 hours that put some fear into some people's hearts, but just want to take a look at that so everybody kind of understands what happened. On the screen right now, you can see US dollar tether broken up into one-day increments and where the peg dropped down. So if you go to the far right-hand side, you can see that it had dipped down as far as almost 94 cents today. It has since risen all the way back up to about 99.8 cents. And before that, if you look, it really was doing a pretty good job of holding the US dollar peg that it was designed to do. The big difference between Terra and Tether is that Terra was designed to be an algorithmic stablecoin, so it wasn't really backed by anything other than Luna, and then the Bitcoin reserves and the Avalanche reserves that Terra Luna was developing. The difference is that Tether, which you see on the screen right now, is, according to the website, backed 100% by US dollars or US dollar equivalents, and those come in multiple different facets. It could be precious metals, it could be other strategies in the crypto space, but the bottom line is what Tether is saying is essentially they have enough money in their reserves that if it does start to depeg, they can deploy that capital in order to recover the peg. And you see here that, again, it really is bouncing around and coming pretty close back up to $1. So it was able to recover from that. There's definitely a little bit of uncertainty on exactly what is in those reserves when it comes to US Tether. If they have US dollars and precious metals, those prices can hold stable. But if they're backing it with crypto, as you can see with Bitcoin, the price fluctuates pretty substantially. So in a downtrend, it is possible that if they did have a lot of crypto, they may or may not be able to make up those reserves. Again, really, that's kind of an unknown right now, and just something to put in your risk calculus when holding USDT. Other stable coins that you can look at, algorithmic stable coins, Frax, or you can look at a similar reserve-based stable coin, USDC, which is held by Circle. And they're very similar to USDT, where they have either US dollars or US dollar equivalents backing up that stable coin. So those are just a few other options that you have for stable coins if you are looking to put your money into stable coins. Again, there's absolutely risk by putting money into stable coins on the blockchain. But again, nothing is infallible. And wherever you put your money, there is going to be risk, especially if you're chasing down certain yield levels. One thing to note about USDT, if you are trying to do swaps and get to coins that you may or may not be able to do on like KuCoin, USDT would be your only option to do it. So you may put money into USDT, and then at that point, what you can do is send it over to, let's say, KuCoin, do your swap completely out of USDT, and then move the rest of the crypto out. So it definitely has its functions at certain times when you're going to need to use it. And then it's just kind of up to you whether or not you do want to take the risk of holding in a stable coin or not. And the last thing I'm going to talk about this week, another security update for everybody to think about, especially when it comes to loading your hot wallets onto your phones. So there was an exploit or possible exploit that came out this week, and I saw it on Twitter, was that once you put your seed phrase in your phone in order to load it, your phone can actually memorize the order of your seed phrase, and predictive text, not 100% guarantee, but predictive text could potentially guess your seed phrase. So very dangerous, right? If your phone is able to predict your seed phrase with only knowing it one time, that's a big problem, especially if someone got a hold of your phone and could figure out even one of the words in your seed phrase. So I just want to let everybody know there are ways to prevent it. And again, it would be very difficult for someone to action on this, but it's not impossible. So it's something to consider. So how do you protect yourself? Well, the best way you can do it is if you do load up your wallet. So again, let's say you load up your MetaMask. In order to do that, you're going to have to put your seed phrase in order to prove that you own that wallet and then make it appear on your phone. But once you do that, what you're going to want to do on your iPhone is you're going to want to go to Settings. And then from there, you're going to go to General. You're going to go to Transfer or Reset Phone. And then you're going to go to Reset. And last, you're going to go to Reset Keyboard Dictionary. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to delete out the dictionary and any words that it was predicting for your phone, and then making it impossible for your phone to guess your seed phrase based off something you've already typed. Therefore, bringing it back up to a normal level of security you'd expect from a 12 or 24 word seed phrase. To do the same thing on your Android, I'm going to share the screen because I don't personally own an Android, but how you're going to do that if you want to clear out the personalized data is you're going to go and open the Settings app, and you're going to collect General Management, shown here. From there, you're going to go into tap Samsung keyboard settings. You'll scroll down, and what you're going to see is reset default settings. And then when you click that button, you're going to see erase personalized predictions. And then at that point, you're going to click erase. And what that's going to do is it's going to delete any predictions that you had put in or when it got used to your phone taking specific words. And that will allow your phone not to remember any seed phrase you put in. Ultimately, the goal of this is just to give you one more layer of protection to prevent any of your wallets from falling into the hands of a malicious actor. Many people, myself included, use our phones to be part of our crypto wallet collection. And it's definitely important to make sure that you protect your seed phrases. And this is, although difficult to execute on, if someone was trying to get your seed phrase, it is a possible way that your seed phrase could be compromised in the event that someone was able to start guessing the words based on what your predictive text remembered when you were putting in your seed phrase to upload your wallet to your phone. So hopefully that's a good tip that you guys can actually put into action and again, secure your crypto to the highest level possible. With that, that concludes the Cognitive Crypto Weekly Intel Update. Hopefully you guys learned something this week and had some actions that you could take. If you like the video, please smash the like and subscribe button for us. Will definitely help our platform grow, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week to give you more tips and information in the crypto environment, even in this difficult time. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks.